smash the like button and subscribe. Don't worry, but thank you very much. Alrighty, why do you support Donald Trump?
Different reasons. Number one, I would say lower crime. There's the lower violent crime, stronger border security. I did like the energy independence factor. I got to say, to say I support Trump is, it's much more nuanced than that. I support some things. The war in Iran, I'm really questioning. But I would just say lower crime is, pro-life. He's pro-life to a certain degree. Roe got overturned due to his Supreme Court appointments. He's not as pro-life as I'd like him to be. But I would say withstanding the Iran situation, I trust his judgment and his guidance on most parts of his governance.
Okay. So you wanted to lower crime, so you voted for the convicted felon over the former prosecutor, district attorney, and attorney general?
Yep.
I don't see how your thought process on that one.
Well, it's pretty simple. Crime is lower under Trump than it was under Biden. So that's why.
So that's called the correlation causation fallacy. Just because crime was lower under a certain administration doesn't mean it's because of him. You know that between 2023 and 2024, there was also a decline in the crime rate?
Yeah, is that concurrent with when Biden started to actually care about the border and not just, have it completely open like a sieve?
It has nothing to do with the border. It has to do with general trends in our society as a whole.
Totally has something to do with the border. Come on.
No. The border is actually low in terms of crime. Did you know that border cities actually had lower rates of crime than the average American city? Along with the fact that undocumented
American city. What's the average American city? Chicago?
No, I'm saying the crime rate for the whole country as a whole on average.
So you're
and
telling
Chicago's
me
not even top 10 for violent crime.
El Paso, Texas has a lower crime rate.
Chicago's not even top 10 for violent crime, by the way.
What's that?
Chicago's not even top 10 for violent crime.
All right, let me be very clear. I live near Chicago. You don't want to go to Chicago late at night in the South Side or West Side. I don't know.
I'm just telling you, it's not even top 10.
But let me just give you real life advice. You personally, Parker, you don't want to go there.
Okay.
So you could say it's not top 10, but I'm telling you, I don't know what the stats say. You don't want to go. You personally, I'm telling you, you wouldn't want to go there late at night.
Okay, cool.
It's kind of not cool.
Okay, well, I'm confused what your point is. I don't really care what your point is there. The point that I'm
trying
to make...
You don't care what my point is. My point is you're trying
the point that I'm trying to make...
Chicago as a metric that it's not
I didn't use Chicago as a metric. I said the average American city, and then you just brought up Chicago.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, irrelevant. Okay, that's not what I was talking about.
What's the average American city? What is that?
The crime rate on average for the entire country. I don't think that's complicated.
What is the average American city? What city are we... You say an average American city, which is so plural.
Do you know what an average is?
Yeah, I know what an average is. But
so you take the crime rate for the entire nation and you average it. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. And I'm using Chicago as a specific example.
Why? I'm talking about the average city. Okay?
Why? Because so you're saying that El Paso, Texas has a lower crime rate than the average American city.
I'd have to look at El Paso specifically, but I know border cities.
Well, you said a border town. That's a border town.
I never said every single border city. I said border city.
You said a border city. I'm trying to... You're using generalities. I'm trying to use specifics.
Yeah.
To try
so
to,
the average border city has a lower rate of crime than the average as a whole. Is that complicated?
No, it's not complicated, but I'm sure if you get specifics, that's where you're struggling.
No, I can give you...
Yeah,
we can reference specifics. You just
you said border towns. I say El Paso. I'm trying to get specific.
That's one example. That's one specific example. I looked at the overall average specifically for them. You just looked at one specific example. Okay, I can give other examples, but that you're not actually.
Give me some.
Okay, I got you.
You're looking it up, so yeah. Let's
of course. You didn't even know the level of crime in El Paso. You just brought it up.
It's pretty obvious that El Paso, Texas is probably going to be, have a higher level of crime than Lincoln, Nebraska. I'm going by what you said. You said border towns are lower. I'm giving specific examples. I'm trying to crystallize the argument.
Okay. So Imperial, California. We can point to Anthony, New Mexico. We can point to San Luis, Arizona. We can, there are countless examples. Crime rates are low, the national average.
Okay. There are some. Okay.
Even San Diego, lower than national average. Actually, El Paso also lower for homicide rate than national average.
The crime rate in El Paso is lower than the national average
for homicide.
for
I
homicide.
don't
Okay,
know
I was
about other
talking
crime
violent
rates, but I can
crime.
check.
Okay. Well, is the violent crime rate down under Trump? True or false?
It is down, but it's not because of Trump.
Yeah. Okay. There we go.
What did Trump do to cause that? That's called the correlation causation fallacy.
Close the border. That's number one. Not allow district attorneys in major cities to basically water down expectations and punishments for violent offenders.
Wait, repeat what you just said. Sorry, one more time.
Not allow district attorneys in major urban landscapes to water down punishments for violent offenders.
We never passed a policy that allowed for them to water down.
Well, it wouldn't
not
be
true.
national policy. Well, no, that's not true. You're talking like, I'm not saying a national policy, but I'm saying local policies. Like, okay, Kim Fox, for example, in Chicago, which is
Dude,
the city
stop
where I
on the
live.
local. We're talking about federal politics right now.
No. I'm not going to stop on the.
Yes,
the
you
local
are.
things.
Yes,
We're
you are.
talking
It's my
about-
live stream. Hey, buddy.
Hold on.
Hey,
No.
buddy. I'm gonna let you know what this is. This is my live stream. We talk about what I want to talk about. You are not going to superimpose whatever dumbass conversation you want to have on my live stream. If you want to do that, make your own live stream. I'm running my own live stream right now. Okay? We're talking about federal politics right now. Stop with these literal Chicago-related stories I don't give a flying about, okay? I'm talking about the country as a whole. We're talking about federal politics. If you want to talk about local politics, go do your own live stream and talk about local politics and get off my stream.
You can't handle it. I'm
not talking about local politics. I'm not talking about sports. I'm not talking about video games.
No,
I'm not
no,
talking
because
about
we're
chess.
talking- no, you
I'm
asked
talking
me a
about federal
question.
politics.
I'm not talking about video games either, you lunatic.
Yeah, you're
You
trying to
asked
talk to me about local
you asked me a
politics. I'm
que-
talking about federal
You
politics.
asked me a question about district attorneys. I'm coming up with an example of a district attorney, and then you freak out and start swearing like a little child.
What did I ask you about district attorneys? Unmute yourself and answer that question. What did I ask you about district attorneys? Answer the question. Unmute yourself and answer the question. What did I ask you about district attorneys?
I brought up the fact that crime rate is down because district attorneys in major urban landscapes are not running free and just allowing like lower expectations and a lack of accountability for violent offenders. That is totally concurrent with our conversation. And I brought up an example about Chicago, and you flipped out like a little child and start swearing, acting like that's the answer to all, to all the questions here.
So, by the question I asked you is, how did Trump bring down crime rates? And then you brought up district attorneys, and then you tried to say that I brought up district attorneys. No, you brought that up.
No,
okay?
Yeah. And
so I was asking you
then,
for how Trump reduced the crime rate, and then you said it was because of.
Can I not talk about district?
Can you be quiet and can I finish my statement?
Go ahead.
Thank you. So you said you were trying to explain why crime is down because of Trump, and then you said it was due to district attorneys. That has nothing to do with Trump. Tell me why Trump caused the reduction in the crime rate.
District attorneys do have to do with Trump.
How?
He's not allowing Soros to fund so many district attorneys in our country. Not funding. He's limiting their funding.
Okay, how did he limit Soros funding them? What are you talking about?
I don't know about the law of him limitations, but urban landscapes do not have as much. Isn't it pretty much known that they're not funding as much district localized district attorneys as?
No.
If
anything, wouldn't that get them to fund more because Trump would have an effect over that?
Let me play the Parker game. Let me look it up.
Okay.
Give me a second.
Yeah. Looking things up. Wow, what a horrible thing. Sarah, thank you for the $5. Thank you very much, Sarah. I appreciate it. Thank you, Joshua. Thank you for the $5 as well. Thank you very much, Joshua. I appreciate it. Thank you while he looks this up. Margaret, thank you as well for the $25 on Venmo. Thank you so much, Margaret. Get some W's for Margaret in the comment section. And Sarah, thank you for the $5. Thank you very much.
Give me 1 sec.
The Parker game, looking things up, doing literal research, everybody. The Parker game.
It is.
It's something he doesn't actually normally do, I tell you that, actually.
Yeah, he has. So I'm playing the Parker game, and he has frozen or redirected.
Whoa, this feedback. Sorry, what did you find?
He has frozen or redirected federal grants through the Department of Justice. So that would answer your question, Parker. I played your game.
What federal
and I'm giving you
grants?
facts. Yep.
What federal grants?
I mean, you need specific names to the grants. I mean, you think they're not? You think
No,
I'm
no,
lying?
no. I meant like, what are the grants for? I have to know in order to know whether or not it's relevant.
Cuts targeted programs for gun violence prevention and services for crime victims, but specifically,
So getting rid of federal grants
the
for
Burn
victims?
No, hold on. The Burn Justice Assistant Grant, the JAG program, the largest source of federal support for state and local law enforcement.
Okay, and you're saying that he increased the funding for federal grants for law enforcement.
Decreased.
He decreased the funding for law enforcement. So he defunded the
Yes.
police?
No.
You just said he
It
decreased
just
the funding.
it says law enforcement. I
Yeah,
don't
he
know.
decreased the federal grants for law enforcement, so he
I don't know
defunded
where
the police?
Evidently, the money is being appropriated to the judicial system more so than the executive branch.
Wait, so let's clarify. You just gave an example of Trump defunding the police, and you said that was
No,
an
I
example
didn't.
of how he decreased crime?
No, I didn't. The Burn Justice Assistant Grant program, the largest source of federal support for state and local law enforcement. I don't know if that, I mean, I don't know where the money's going. I'm just going from what I'm reading here.
Okay. Yeah, you don't know what you're referencing exactly. Like you just brought up an example of how they got rid of federal grants for law enforcement,
I
and then
do
you
know
tried
what
to
I'm
use that as an
referencing.
example of how they were reducing crime, right?
No,
When
you're
that's
trying
actually
you're
an
trying
evidence
to go
of.
deeper. You're trying to go deeper and deeper. I said that he has frozen or redirected federal grants through the Department of Justice.
Yeah, meaning he got rid of the funds for law enforcement or froze them.
I would assume a lot of this is going to the judicial branch, where a lot of the DOJ takes, takes grants and directs them.
Okay, so how is that going to reduce crime?
Evidently, it's taking power away from a lot of the district attorneys.
So it takes money away from the district attorneys that you were saying were reducing crime?
No, they weren't reducing crime. That was the problem. They were enabling crime.
Okay,
by
so
just
the
letting-
Trump administration
letting a
got
lot of,
rid
lot
of
criminals off the hook.
So the Trump administration got rid of funding for district attorneys that weren't holding criminals accountable, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, and what source is it for the individuals that were not holding them accountable versus the ones that were actively holding people accountable?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Yeah, how do you know it was people that weren't holding individuals accountable rather than those that were actually holding individuals accountable?
Okay, well, here's the deal. District attorneys such as Kim Fox, I know you don't want to hear her name, you don't want to hear Chicago, even though, because it's evidently, a petri dish of violence in a Democratic-run city.
Name one Republican-run city that's doing good.
What's that?
Name one Republican-run city that's doing good.
Well, that's hard to answer to the fact that all major urban landscapes that are not doing well.
So there's
are
none that you
Democratic.
can mention that are good?
I listen. Like I said, I mean, I don't know what the point of the question is, due to the fact that look at New York, look at Chicago, look at LA.
Yeah, all of those
look
are
at San Francisco.
democratically run
do you
areas.
want to hang out?
Can you mention any Republican-run area that's actually doing good?
I would say the country of the United States.
That's not a city.
No, but it's a country, and you're asking me about a location. I would say probably the United States of America.
That's not a city. I'm asking you for a Republican-run city that's doing well, and you can't give me a single example.
Because most Democratic cities, major urban landscapes, are run by Democrats.
Again, complaining about Democratic cities without being able to mention what Republican city is doing well.
Who cares? I mean,
So you can complain, but you have no actual alternatives?
This is called like a total redirection on your part, because the majority of crime comes from a lot of Democratic-run cities. So now
because Republican-owned cities are not even a thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's why a lot of Democratic-run.
How about you compare the per capita rates? If you look at red states comparative to blue states, red states actually tend to have higher rates. Did you know that?
Heard it. Can you give me an example?
I'm saying they tend to have, on average, higher rates. If you compare red states to blue states.
Can you give me an example?
Louisiana.
I mean, New Orleans. I mean, what would New Orleans?
But it's a Republican governor, is it not?
I would assume so. I'm not some type of, I mean, I've been to Louisiana. I'm not some type of Louisiana, current political expert.
Did you know that Florida has 2 times the amount of fraud that Minnesota has?
Define that. Like,
overall fraud, Florida has 2 times the amount of fraud overall comparative on a per capita basis comparative to Minnesota.
I mean, that's so generalized. They have more fraud. What does that mean?
Yeah, overall fraud. I'm talking about. What do you mean? What does that mean? Determined fraud by the federal government. What else do you mean? Like someone's
In what
determined to
way?
have committed fraud
Can you give me an
in
example?
any way, in any way, whether it be
Well,
tax fraud,
can you
whether it
give me
be
an
business
example? Because I
fraud.
could give you an example of
Yeah,
major
tax
fraud in
fraud,
Minnesota.
business fraud. Those are
All
different
right,
types of fraud.
could you look it up? Like, give me an example of,
Yeah, I've told you
what
overall
major
fraud rate.
fraud?
It's categorizing all different types of fraud. Overall fraud rate is higher by 2 times in Florida than it is in Minnesota.
Are
Over
you
2 times.
absolving the Somali daycare fiasco in Minnesota? Or
Even
what are we doing
considering
here?
everything that you're referencing there with your whole fucking propaganda campaign. Yeah. In considering
Propaganda.
all of that, you guys
What
are still
propaganda?
wrong.
Are you telling me that Democratic-run cities like Chicago, New York, L.A., San Francisco don't have major violent crime issues? What are you talking about?
Of course, there's issues of violent crime in every major city. There's no one disputing
Relativism.
that. But
I
that's
mean,
also not
what's a,
acknowledging. That's
in
also
every,
that's also
that's
not
like
acknowledging. That's also not
that's
acknowledging.
totally a
That's also
straw
not
man
acknowledging
fallacy.
that the very guy that you voted for is a violent offender. So you think the way to actually address crime in our nation is by voting in a violent offender that pardoned violent rioters who beat police
Um,
officers and called them patriots, who's actively not holding people accountable in the Epstein files, not releasing all of them, even though he's legally obligated to do so?
do you know what I?
That's the
Do you
guy.
know what
That's the guy you're gonna think is the better for the position. Who has 34 felonies he's been convicted of. That's the guy who's better for addressing crime. The literal convicted felon, adjudicated rapist.
comparative to Kamala Harris? 100%. You're using such a
But you
straw
can't
man
give any
fallacy.
examples of how she's
No,
bad for
totally a
addressing
straw man
crime.
fallacy. Here's what I like to do, Parker. I like to look at facts.
No, you
And
don't.
the facts say
Who
that
won the
crime
2020
is
election?
down under Donald Trump.
Answer
And
this question,
instead of
Brandon.
acknowledging that,
Brandon, who rightfully won the 2020 election?
who rightfully won? Joe Biden won the election.
Who rightfully won?
Do I think the guy got 81 million votes? Are you kidding me?
Do you see what I mean? So who's actually denying reality? It's clearly you guys. Do you think climate change is a hoax?
Wait a second. Did I
Do you
say
think
that Joe
climate change is a
Biden
hoax,
didn't win the
Brandon?
election? Did I say he didn't win the election?
Well, you think that he didn't get the votes that he got.
I don't think he got 81 million votes.
Yeah,
Do
which
you?
means you're a conspiracy theorist. Secondly, I'm
It
asking
means
I'm asking
I'm
a
living in
question. Do you think
no.
climate change is a hoax?
I think climate change is a hoax. I don't really get involved in climate change. I really don't care.
Of course you don't. So, you know that
No,
like
yeah, of
that's
course, of
99%
I
of
don't.
climate scientists that indicate this to be true, right?
Listen, I mean, maybe there's a 0.01 difference in degrees. I mean, listen, I'm older than you. Fall is fall, winter's
still
winter,
dumber.
spring's spring. Fall, I mean, summer's summer. I mean, I'm not seeing a big difference here, Parker.
Yeah, you don't understand the difference, but if you look at the data, there is an increase in global temperatures. Thank you for
So,
the money gun. Thank you very much,
does
Tysley.
does that worry you, or?
Yes, it does, because I actually care about people.
Oh, I do too.
Well,
So
if you did, then maybe you'd actually like look into the
what do you think we're all
science.
going to melt? I mean, what's your big
No, I
concern
don't
with
think
climate
everyone's
change?
going to melt. I just think that conditions for agriculture will be different depending on the area that we're in because of the fact that there are differences in climate. Different areas around the world will be less habitable than what they currently are right now, especially near the equator. And there's going to be plenty of climate migration because of that, more severe weather, specifically relating to tornadoes, hurricanes, earthquakes, etc. Right? All of those things are harmful for us in general. Right?
So
Pollution leads to
what are
millions
you
of deaths on
suggesting
a
we
yearly
do?
basis.
What are you suggesting we do?
What am I suggesting that we do? I think
Yeah.
that we should try to go off of fossil fuels in the long run, right? By trying to build up renewable energy production, which will make us more energy independent within this country, right? I actually think that would be able to better the conditions to a greater extent.
I mean, you're talking about a massive revolution. I don't know if that,
A
you can go
cultural, a
for it. I
massive
don't know if it's actually
cultural
going to take
change,
place.
but like I think it's an important thing to get us off of our foreign dependence on foreign oil, our dependence on
There's
foreign
truth
oil. Like
there.
I
There's
think
truth
that's a way
there.
that we can be energy independent and meaningfully address the situations in the future.
Thing is, though, I mean, like to build some of these massive windmills. I mean, how much carbon energy does it take to do that?
Less than what we're going to get in terms of energy production. So it's inevitably a net benefit still. All right, hey,
Okay.
Brandon, I have to get off right now. Any last
Yep.
words you have?
No,
You're
no,
welcome. You're welcome to come up in the future. We didn't get to finish our conversation, so you're welcome to come
no.
up and we can continue our
I,
conversation like tomorrow or something.
hey, thanks for having me on, Parker. Sorry if I got a little too salty.
You're okay.
Hey, take